who owns the podcast? And was it Nadu's podcast?
Oh, no, not at all. So at the time, let me just give you a bit of backstory as to how we got here. So
I want to clear the part of people saying Nadu's podcast.
And, we had this conversation about doing something differently because we don't do skits for a long time. And the age when we don't reach. So when we had this conversation, who be the person when we go fit do this kind of thing with? Now person when we say we know. And so we connected with, Best.
We heard rumors that you were paying people to come to this show. We heard rumors that you were telling them what to say to be controversial.
I don't meet anybody in the hotel room. Prior to even coming here, I never met Best. I'd never met Nadu.
After we did, he said, yeah, if Nadu's not coming back, just make sure you call Nadu.
Did you call him?
I called him in Abuja at Obi Kubana's birthday because I saw him from afar. Husband material. First time I ever saw you in my life, it was with Nadu. You were like a team, 5 and 6.
We are friends. I know that some people have said it's important that you define friendship when you say friend because you feel the person friend, may the person not be your friend.
After my first marriage, I had death threats that were transferred to my family members. And the work I did is why you have people standing up today to the church and demanding accountability, demanding the truth. This thing you are saying, where is it in the Bible?
Why you can't decide, say, okay, Honest Bunch podcast now? You go come be part of Honest Bunch podcast.
Okay. My wife was, shout out to Taste Buds, she was like, this is a good idea, go.
Nice.
I called Pastor Toby. He is the most diplomatic person in this life. He will tell you no without telling you no and tell you, but this one, he just went on, he said, I like this. So me that was like this, I'm like, okay, let me send Best a message back and said, okay, let's sit down and have a meeting. And after listening to him for 10 minutes, my wife was like, how old is this guy again? Say, this guy now.
Wisdom choke.
Nah. The guy just did dish out ideas. As in, it got to a point where I can't begin the...
Welcome to the Honest Bunch podcast. Season 7, we are super grateful for your support. Woo! I want to thank Una. God go bless Una.
Amen.
Every time when we say Una go stand for our back, I cannot... The DMs that I have received, people telling me, husband material, we miss you. Husband material, we are waiting. Husband material, I say, I can't be emotional. No. If no, I be wicked person. I for to cry. We are super grateful. We appreciate your support over the years. And we want to assure you that season 7 will give all that it is supposed to give. And you will definitely have a great experience. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I go into the introduction of the amazing people that are seated alongside me on our special couch, make I give you now one update. OhentPay. OhentPay. I go talk for the third time. OhentPay. I take God beg you, if you dey prepare to do anything, as it take concern, say, for example, you want move, come up from this country in search of greener pastures so that you go fulfill that destiny when God get for you. OhentPay na the way to go. And across 190 countries, if you want send money, my brother, if no be OhentPay, you ain't gonna pay. Yes, so OhentPay, better payment platform when we say go give you everything where you need and you go get peace of mind. Not be say you go send money, you go they roll. They'll come, they call you, they talk, say, I've sent it. Some people will tell you cannot leave your account till I receive a lot. No, now. OhentPay ain't gonna do that kind of thing. So OhentPay is the way to go. And it is spelled OHENT Pay. Letter O. HENT Pay. So they go sort them for you. So ladies and gentlemen, let me go into the introduction of the amazing quartet. We get person when I suppose introduce first. But I say, because of say we be respectable people and we know they take our ladies then play, let us begin with the ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, I say it with so much confidence that this young lady has grown to the point where every time I look at her, I am super proud. Beautiful, drop dead gorgeous, intelligent, super smart, popping menalane. Ọmọ tí wọ́n tọ́ dáadáa tó dẹ̀ gbọ́ràn sí mom sí létí. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only Dating
Hi, Material. I really missed that introduction. Hi, Charlies.
What is better than one beautiful and intelligent Nigerian woman? Two beautiful and intelligent Nigerian women. Fresh like morning palm wine. Succulent like Edo palm oil. Ladies and gentlemen, www.asanpokoto.com. Ada Itim. By the special grace of God,
Incoming!
One of Abia State. We want. The one and the only. Is in the mama, is in the Porsche, is in the mama.
He's so quiet. Missed you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce myself. Before I introduce Ezugu Chukudi.
6 feet tall, chocolate dripping puppy.
6'5", please.
Stop
6'5".
Yes.
Dripping chocolate puppy.
It's okay.
Yes.
The other material that never
resist.
finishes.
He's giving everything that an African prince is supposed to give.
So demure.
God resists the proud. It's okay. He elevates the humble. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oga Patapata, the one who calls the shots, small body, big engine, with plenty sense, a man whose pen has signed and sealed a lot of big deals, the one and the only CEO of Glitch Africa.
Dun, dun, dun.
Himself.
Mama here. Okay, Whiskey. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it is with such great honor that I introduce somebody who, for so many years, even up till now, for the line when I day, now person when they inspire me, I they look up to Ram. God created radio. God looked at what he had created
And said,
and said something is missing. Angel Gabriel said, is it to go from AM to FM? God said no. They said, is it the music? God said no. They said, what is the problem? God said, it is the voice. It is the style. It is the charm. And it is the charisma.
Get it.
God now brought in this man that revolutionized that sector and changed it.
Come on.
Brought new changes.
Come on.
And created a system where when you listen to radio, you are excited, you are informed, you are educated, you are persuaded, and there's also engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only, over 3 decades of experience, a man who everything he touches turns into gold.
Don't play.
The one with the golden voice. And a man who started something that made plenty people say, let's begin to think rather than follow. The one and the only, Daddy Free! Whoa! You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this episode, we are going to be vulnerable. We are going to naked ourselves. And just, you would hear the unfiltered truth as it is. So, this information is for our UK audience. And I would also like for, our viewing audience to hear me out. We had a great show planned out for you, April 17th, 19th, and 20th in the United Kingdom. But unfortunately, certain circumstances played out. Even when, a member of the Amazing Quartet left the show, we still continued with promotion because we wanted to go all out and ensure that you had a great experience in, the cities that we planned out in the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, some of our guests who were supposed to be part of the show and who were supposed to give you great experience pulled out from the show. We understand the circumstances surrounding the show at the time. And maybe this was what fueled the decision of people. We don't hold anything against anybody. It don't happen. But we did not want to go on with a mediocre show. Okay, this person don't pull out. Oh, yeah, Mo just do it like Mo do it. No. We understand that you respect us. We value your support. And that is why everything we do, there's emphasis on excellence. By the special grace of God, you see that United Kingdom, we go come. We'll go more cities. Canada, be on standby. US, be on standby. Everywhere around the world, the message of the Honest Bunch podcast, unfiltered, frank and very honest, will take it to you. So please forgive us.
Forgive us.
Don't be angry. We are sorry.
Joe.
It's okay. Don't cry.
Thank you.
You see, I might be joining as one of the hosts, but as of this
Welcome first.
as of
Welcome.
this minute, I am part of the audience. So all these people's apology, me, I will ask you some hard questions.
Like you always do.
So maybe next episode I don't turn one of them now. But now I'm
Fully.
still an outsider.
Okay.
And I hop around on social media a lot. I look for the next thing to talk about. And one of the conversations that emanated from the saga was, is the Honest Bunch really honest? A brand built on the foundations of the name Honest. Is it really honest? We heard rumors that you were paying people to come to this show. We heard rumors that you were telling them what to say to be controversial. We heard rumors that some people were also paying. Address those rumors.
Okay, so I'd like to speak on the part of we telling people what to say. When you're coming on a show, I mean, we're going to also talk about how we get our guests. We reach out to our guests and we get them to come. When you're coming on a show, you already have what you want to say. And truth is, you don't even know the conversation. A podcast is supposed to be like an honest, a place where people just onboarding, people just talk about how they feel and stuff like that. So when you're coming on the show, you know that you're going to either lie or say the truth. And that's on you. Whatever you say is your truth. At least that's what we think. We think it's your truth. So, and we've had guests on this show. So would it be that we brought Peter Obi and we told him what to say? We brought Pastor Ebel Damina and we told him what to say. Strong-willed people like that. And sometimes I see on social media as well when they say, what do they put in that cup when they drink it? Oh, it's a gun point. I think that anybody that comes here and I mean, there's always even a disclaimer for people that watch. If you come here and you say what you say, it's on you. It's on you. You come here, guess. The truth is that
there's no allegedly.
There is. The truth is that you don't even know what you're going to talk about. When you come, we are gisting like friends. So if you decide to lie, if you decide to chase clout, if you decide to do anything, it's on you. So the problem that I have as a person now is now coming on social media to see that you're saying, because some people have also said that they put me on the spot. Who put you on the spot? You said the things that you said. Some of the guests that even came here, some of them, it's on record. People can go watch. Some of them will say, I know they will drag me. You know they will drag you. And you're saying it. And now when they're dragging you, you're now coming to blame Honest Bunch. What is your problem? What is the color of your problem? So now, that is these people that I've mentioned to you. And I can go on and on.
Sure.
Pastors, Showore, barristers, Eddie Kabasa,
Professor Ellen Paul.
we can
Ali
go
Baba.
on and on.
Don Jazzy.
Don Jazzy.
We can go on and on.
Spyro.
Are you going to mention Spyro? Because I'm going to be, I mean, if you're mentioning Spyro, you know we had an issue with Spyro's episode where he said that we edited, he said we edited it and put him on the spot and we put him on the spot for drugs. When he came, we had a good conversation. The reason that edits are made, and I'm saying this for people that go on the comment section and they say, cut and join. What are we supposed to do? Give you the full episode so you watch it on Instagram and not come to YouTube to watch it? It's a teaser, for goodness sake. We put up the points that we get you to come and watch the full clip. It's just like a trailer in film.
Yes.
They don't shoot this person. You know whether the person don't die.
Or whether I get audition.
Or whether you go come. You go cinema or you go YouTube. You go watch the full film. At the end, you come to say, oh, this person not even die.
I bet you say they kill him for that trailer, but I don't see him.
That's the aim of a trailer.
Yes, please.
So when trailers are cut, and then you now start to play victim, saying that they cut it to put you on the spot, that's where I have a problem. You know that usually on the podcast, we just do the asking of the questions. And I am grateful for God for this episode because it's giving us the opportunity to actually express ourselves and say how we feel. And when they see you on the road, they say, that's on a podcast where they put people who got caught. It's a teaser.
Now one scatter Nigeria.
Like, watch the full episode.
Yes, I think I would like to share
this on a podcast. Go scatter Nigeria.
Yes. I'd like to share, details on as to why our teasers are like that and why we started that. We created that format for teasers. Typically, reels for podcasts like your content generally, they're pretty straightforward. You just got here, post. But we decided to think of it differently. If you watch movies like Hollywood movies, Disney and the likes, their teasers are very dramatic. They're punchy. They chop off a part from here, make it here, transition with sound effects, all that, just to tell a story, to get you engaged, anticipating the release. We thought to borrow that concept for this, and it worked brilliantly. In fact, many people knew that podcast from those teasers. But the other side was that people started jumping to conclusions or watching that teaser and assuming that is the conversation. While that is anticipated, but we just like to share content, explain that, no, these are teasers. They are pre-content release content, it's not a full thing. It's just excepts. Yes, I just want to explain why that, as to not people not reading or consuming that content as the full thing. Yes.
I think it's also important to point out that, the Honest Bunch podcast is very particular about making impact. And that is why there are certain conversations that we would not have. If you are our niche audience, by niche audience, I mean people who expend their resources to watch an entire episode. Because, severally we've had conversations and I would say, I am very concerned about somebody who would spend 2 hours of their time watching an entire episode. Now that person data, now him my day concerned about. Now that person time, now him my day concerned about. Because it means that the person is invested in the podcast. And you must curate great content for that person. Forget about the person who watches a 90 seconds or 60 seconds clip on X or on Instagram and then begin to give hot takes. While we must be concerned about such persons, but that's your audience that will come every Monday or at any other time of the week to invest their time. Now that person is supposed to do your mind. What are you supposed to do? Supposed to be something when we say go impact their lives.
Yes.
And that is why, looking back now, the effort we put into getting our guests is out of this world.
So nothing like paying. Let's talk about that.
If you want to even talk about paying, how much we want pay Mr. Peter Obi? How much we want pay Umayele Showore? How much we want pay Ali Baba? How much we want pay Professor Ellen Paul? In fact,
Kenny Ogungbe,
Baba Keke, Otumba D1, Oke Bakasi, Igwe, Bobby Ugoma, Don Jazzy. How much we want pay these people? Say, oh yeah, come. They will come and say, now like this, you go talk. How? It doesn't even make any sense.
Too many guests.
In addition to what Husband Material said, I want to point this out first of all. When this podcast name was being deliberated on, we've already all called each other like the names that we think that people will call us. Oh, bunch of dishonest people, bunch of this. We all laughed about it. So people calling us that name then, as of the time the matter was still hot, it didn't really get to us. But what me, personally, I feel got to me was the fact that this podcast, whenever we are creating like great episodes, it has revived people's career. It has helped people grow more. People did forget about that particular
As
one.
even helps me. You people drop teaser on Friday. I will quickly interview the opposite party.
More than that too. We have finish.
So we've already created great episode that has helped people. So if one thing should come and shake, others are like, oh wow, look at them, dishonest bond, this, that. That did not get to us, but the fact that the effort, you guys don't see the efforts that we put in to make sure that you enjoy this every week. Come on.
And I mean, if you look at the topic of an episode, you would, if you are a niche audience, you would want to invest your time.
Yes.
The one I cannot forget is the episode that we featured Omayele Showore that we titled Revolution Now or Never. Just think about that. You don't get any other podcast. Yes, now, revolution now or never. And he sat here for over 2 hours detailing his experience. Every time we get a guest here, just go on YouTube and check the comments. Leave Instagram first. Go on YouTube and check the comments. You see people say, I don't know, say this kind of thing happened. Do you know that a lot of people did not know that until that episode, that Sowore was very, very active in the struggle for the return to democratic rule, the actualization of Baba Biola's mandate. As a student union leader in the University of Lagos, a lot of people did not know.
Yes.
Many people you go just see him on Twitter, say, now one person will just come for 2019, say he won't contest to become president. They did not know all of these. We have had people we had Otumba Dele Momodu here, who shared all that he had to endure, and all that Chief MK Abiola also had to endure. So when our guests are people who we take time, you get people who say, would they nurse them like, babe? Say, please, we want you because we know that you are best suited for this conversation. The person will say, I'm not available. We'll say, no wahala. Anytime you are available, we will try as much as we can to do it. It took us 6 seasons before we got Mr. Peter Obi. Who don't want to interview Mr. Peter Obi? But on our part, we know, say, sometimes you go take your time. You go debut them until you reach that point where we say, even the person, you don't need introduction. And that person go talk, say, I think if I come on this platform, I would be able to reach out to as many people as possible. And as many people who listen, their lives will be impacted. Baba, we had over 13,000 comments. Make a note talk 13,000, but I am very certain right now that over 5,000 comments for the episode that featured Dr. Abel Damina. And a lot of people on that episode were like, who is this man? The episodes we have seen of, or the videos we have seen of him on blogs that cut and join, we just think the man is this, we just think the man is that. But he sat here, had the opportunity for 2 hours, 28 minutes to teach people, and people eye open.
I'd like to.
Sorry, before you say this, because I don't want to lose track of my train of thought. I wanted to ask Tone this, and isn't it too? There's this narrative, say, babes where they come here, that they bench them.
That's one.
Or that they bench una. You understand? Say to, because if they say girls where they come here to do interview, that they bench them or that they throw bench to them, that means the ones where they inside here too. Something like that. So, and in a world where the woman child or the girl child is given preeminence and priority, can we address those rumors, or can we address this? Let me not call it rumor now. I know it's in day because I never joined on that then.
But let me just add from the company's side of conversation. Glitch Africa Studios, it's a Pan-African brand. We have a team of over 40 people who work here. Team of content producers, large team. So Glitch Africa gets the guests at every time. There's never a time where, someone would say, I'm bringing a guest that is my family member, or because one of the hosts promised.
So it's the company that 100%. Brings the guests.
Yes, most times. Because there'll be times where
people can suggest.
Yes, DMs and host, maybe whoever, other material or whoever, and say, I want to come on the show. The host then forwards that contact to the producer, the content producer, then to follow up and build the conversation, get them on the show. So it's been that, very, very thorough process. Come on the show, yes. It's never as, digital media or social media has painted it.
And answering that they phrased this
I wanted
question.
women to answer.
Yes,
Right.
I have context.
I mean, who is the person that wants to touch any of the female hosts or any guest here? I mean, it's quite insulting. I'm sorry. It's just, I found it really comical. Let me just say
those
that.
comments.
I blocked 180 plus people because I have to save my own mental health as well. Lots of comments so person has slept with this or that. One even followed up in my email to start insulting his mother. Why? Yeah, because the things he was saying in my email, I blocked him on Instagram, went to my email. I feel there are some things that if they put out there, it's just common sense. I mean, just common sense. For you to know that, okay, this can't be true. You should be able to differentiate. I mean, that really hurts me. It really affected me. I'm not meant to care, really. I know it's not true. I'm not meant to care, but the fact that people are not thinking, I'm sorry. It's just so annoying.
Yeah, and as a
So,
woman
yeah.
who is, I don't know, your marital status.
No, I'm single.
Single.
Because so that people will not say, those
no, I'm
ones,
single.
I want it, they don't share them.
I'm
Like-
single. But
How did it affect you?
I'm going to talk for a while.
Mm.
But it's okay if anybody wants to interrupt me because I want to give a recount of how I joined this show.
Mm.
There was Naomi on this show
Mm.
before I joined, and for reasons, educational reasons, and stuff, Naomi relocated and left the show. And this show, they had several people come on the show, ladies come on the show. And one day I was watching, because I would always watch. It was Frankly Speaking then, became Honest Bunch.
Why did it change from Frankly Speaking to Honest Bunch for those who...
Oh yeah.
That's a long story.
I'll just summarize it. So when we had an episode, I think I went super viral. We got, sued by a brand. I think a lady who claimed she had trademarked the name before, we checked and realized that, she actually had a show called Frankly Speaking with, I think, Gloria Elijah also, running. And we thought, as a reputed organization, no point dragging. Let's just change the name. If we have a great product, it's to sell itself. Immediately, we decided to just change the name and move forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, I was watching one day, and then my sister, Desire, I love you. I know you're watching. She wrote me. I was in my room. She wrote me and she said, "It be like Naomi don't go vacation because I've been seeing her pictures in the UK lately." I say no. It be like na relocation she do. So she was like, she knows somebody that knows Naomi, Jenny. So she quickly reached out to Jenny and said, "How far? Has Naomi relocated or she's gone on vacation?" Jenny was like, "Oh, she's relocated." And my sister was like, "You can't do this thing now. All this talk where you talk for house. Go podcast.
let us rest.
Go podcast, go talk am." So that was how we reached out to Jenny. Jenny reached out to Naomi. And I also wrote Naomi, and Naomi wrote best, And I also had friends that knew Nadu, right? So I wrote them and said, "Please, I don't know what's up. Please help me and reach out to him." I mean, I didn't know who owned the podcast at the time, but I mean, if I had a friend that knew husband material as well, I would have reached out to, him too. So after 2 days or so, I got a call from Glitch Africa saying I was scheduled to come and join the show. Not like join. It was probation because I know I had shot 2 episodes.
Yes, probatory.
In fact, the first episode they dragged me. Yeah, I remember I wore an us blood hair. We're saying I cannot marry a poor man, something like that. So that was how I joined the show. So I did not meet anybody in the hotel room. Prior to even coming here, I never met Best. I'd never met Nadu. Never. I'd never met husband material. Let's even say I'm a lesbian. I've never met Stone.
It was probably based on merit.
Do you get? So when people say stuff like, because one person has come to the show one-off, they've slept with her, that means me and Tom is going down. In fact, it looks like we go and do our...
It will sound like Uber Corolla mileage.
Bro.
Do you get?
Fact.
And then, another thing, apart from how I joined the podcast, is when people say, we always have Ashawo girls on the podcast. Why is it only Ashawo girls that come on the podcast?
Make it make sense.
The guys are wise. The girls are unwise. We have some topics, like the topic that we had a sponsor of a condom brand that we had doing
Durex.
Durex.
They had these new products that would give pleasure to both men and women.
Now, it was going to give pleasure to both men and women. Women are the receivers of the sexual pleasure. I mean, because that was what the thing about. The right guest to get for that episode was a lady that was also outspoken, that would be ready
bold.
to speak.
Audacious.
Do you get? So my issue is, why is it that when men talk about sex, it's okay?
It's cool.
But when a woman has the audacity to now come and say, this is how I feel when I'm touched here. This is how I feel when I'm touched here. It now becomes an Ashawo podcast.
You're wild.
Because she's saying how she feels. And mind you, nobody has gone to write any script for any guest to come and say how they feel. So when a woman comes in and says she slept with 1,000 men, it's her truth. I'm not going to say, shut up your mouth. It's a podcast, for goodness sakes. If people know the definition of podcast, they should know that it is where people go and unburden. It's not scripted. You come and say what you want to say. And besides, our podcast is open. Our podcast is not streamlined. Everybody comes on our podcast.
We don't discriminate.
We don't discriminate because we believe that everybody has something to say.
And there's no conversation
After all,
you should not have.
After all, P2B got the advice from a madman.
So why are we to disregard madmen?
At some point, a madman has something to say.
Yes.
Exactly.
So I was also going to add that whether you like it or not, whether you feel comfortable with the conversation or not, it is important that you listen to people. It is important that you express yourself. And when we, rather than, engage in shouting matches or go at each other or arguments, we can have, friendly chit chats. We can have debates. There are certain conversations that I have had with people or that we have had on the podcast that maybe personally I don't agree with them, but I'm not going to say, shut up, don't say anything. You go talk what you want to talk. Well, I've even learned that when I spend time listening to people, you, to a considerable degree, might understand where they are coming from or what influences their personal opinion. So we have had all sorts of conversation. And even if we're going to give the example of the Durex products, there are so many other examples that we can give. The example that featured the executive chairperson of La Soda, Adenike Oyetunde Lawa, Honorable Ma. She was on the podcast where we discussed the challenges that people who live with disability face every day, especially in third world countries. Baba, Adenike Oyetunde.
We work together now.
We work together, yes. That episode when we say the kind of engagement when he gets, shame go they catch you. Our niche audience follow up because the number one they usually get to that kind of episode, we get them. But the cut and join bloggers, when they find traffic on their page, no go focus on those kind of things. Because then go look, say, this is not the interest people. And it's normal now. Daddy Freeze, I'm sure you have done commentary on politics, on development. People will not join. But if now say this person snatch this person wife, this person collect this person husband, 2,000, 2 million, views. 250 billion views.
Nigerians
in journalism, a dog bites a man is not a story. It's when a man bites a dog that is a story. So just understand that whole ideology moved to the blogs. Even me, I will carry a story that way. If somebody calls me, because I do interviews almost on a daily basis, somebody calls me, first thing I'll look at is, okay, what are you really bringing to the table? What's the audience going to want to see? So I understand that, and people at home need to understand that you come to the show because something brought you there. You like the controversy. That is why the controversial episodes always sell more. So don't now blame the people who are bringing the controversy to you when it is what you are looking for.
Right.
Now, there's a very controversial aspect that I think I'll direct this to Best.
Okay.
I read, remember I'm still audience. I'm not part of the show. I'm audience. I read that my former colleague and good friend, Nadu, Husband Material and I worked, my last 2 years on the radio, I worked with Husband Material. We used to have Thursday meetings, so I'm very familiar with him. And I also worked with you, Best. And with Nadu, I think I worked with Nadu for over 10 years. What is the story? Was he fired?
Okay, I would like to just take my time and really give context, to this. So first, straight up, no, it wasn't. So at the height of the controversy, we felt, okay, it was, best for him to take some time out to go maybe sort out these things. So we reached out to him, as a collective, as a team, that, we see what the blogs are saying, we see the issues, we recommend take like a few weeks off, put out a statement and saying, addressing that, Nadu is taking a temporary break to address the current controversies. He'll be back. At the time we told him that, he felt, no, that wasn't the best move for him. That he would rather leave the show than to accept that, as an option. And he felt like, we shouldn't talk about it, But we are, we owe our audience. When you hear that this thing is happening here, this money here, scam this, for a show built on honesty, for a brand that, it's African. We have shows in South Africa, Kenya, Ghana. It's not just a Nigerian, a local brand. So there's a lot of eyeballs. So we needed to say something. And we expressed that to him, but he didn't see that picture. So he said, he'd rather leave the show, don't accept that option. And he did that. He posted that he's done with the show, not coming back. I personally thought, I've known him for years. We've worked many years prior to Honest Bunch. So we have a personal relationship. I thought, okay, maybe after the hits, we'll have a conversation just like two guys and iron things out. So I allowed that happen. He announced his exit from the show. And that happened. Weeks later, I tried to, build some fun conversation, reach out to him, even the team reached out to him. The collective, Muslim material, say, okay, let's iron this out. What's the issue? But, that wasn't fruitful. He remained, he mentioned and he told me that, I think it's done, that we should move on.
Sorry to cut you. Let me,
sure.
We, the
Honest Bunch.
The
audience.
The audience.
Sure.
We heard that this was Nadu's podcast. We refer to it as Nadu's podcast. That Nadu podcast. Because I remember, was it Idris? And then somebody wanted to reply Idris and he was on my show. I think it was Tony Tetwila. And Tony was like, waiting Idris go talk for Nadu podcast. So who owns the podcast? And I know this might be a controversial question,
yes.
But was it Nadu's podcast?
Oh, no, not at all. This is a Glitch Africa owned podcast. Finance, edited. So our model is we create concepts and reach out to voices, talents that we think can carry this content idea. So prior to the podcast network, we're a brand. We're doing music sessions, platforming African talents all over Africa. From Rayman, name it. You can check on our platforms. So it was a brand that existed. I have a media background. We've worked for years. So, I wanted to bring that side of me, to the brand. Why not create a network where we can platform African voices, create podcast shows? People are online now as opposed to radio and, all that. So I wanted to bring that. So, so at the time, let me just give you a bit of backstory as to how we got here. So, Nadu and Muslim material wanted to transition to podcasting. They have been in the media space, radio specifically, for a while. So we are looking for someone that will bring, that will maybe get them a podcast show or something. So our head of marketing at the time, Tonye Ekine, reached out to me that, he spoke to Muslim material. And Muslim told him that he wanted to start a podcast show. Like, he thinks I should think about that. I'm like, why not? Let's fix a meeting. So they came to the office and they're like, we've been on this space for some years. We think, going to the podcast space, it would be a great idea. I'm like, actually, I was thinking of creating a podcast network. I'm open to that. So the idea, this next step was what kind of podcast show are we going to do? At the time, because I just left Nigeria Info at the time, so I was playing around the political space, So I thought the idea would be create a show that addresses issues around politics, government, all that. That's the idea I had for this show. So I reached out to a third party. I wanted it to be Nadu's material and the lady. At the time, I had a friend called Kiki Modi who worked with BBC. I didn't, So I reached out to her. There's this idea I have. I want you to be part of a new show called Frankly Speaking. Politics. We just talk about stuff that everyone can relate to. Bring it local, pidgin, mix all that. And she loved the idea. By the time she just moved out of Nigeria to the UK, so she said, give her like 2 months. And for me, when I have an idea, I believe in doing it now, as opposed to waiting for that long. I didn't want to wait. So I'm like, okay, since Kikimori wasn't forthcoming at the time, we're like, let's move on. Let's switch the genre. We decided to try pop culture. It's something that Nadu, material, they were comfortable with. Okay, let's give it a shot. So we scheduled a pilot episode. I think on day of shoots, Nadu mentioned that there was someone else that wanted to come on the show, lady. I'm like, okay, why not? We were waiting. We had Naomi, who worked with the brand as a client executive, who was always contributing to the meetings, and our opinions kind of made some sense. So we're like, okay, just join them instead of waiting for the third, co-host. And that's how Naomi joined the show. I think later on, Tone joined. And we filmed the pilot episode. It kind of, when after production, can I continue?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just took a look at Tone too.
Yeah, so I previewed
I
previewed that pilot copy, and I thought it made sense. I was like, okay, let's try it out. Let's post this in and see what the audience reaction would look like. And we did, and it was great. So I'm like, okay, let's just keep going and see where this leads. So that's how, this show started until we got sued for the name. I think at the 6th or 9th episode, we had a viral, episode, and it was everywhere. I think that's what brought the eyeballs. I got sued for using the name. I had to speak to our legal team. Instead of fighting or trying to drag the name, just switch. And we did that. And Honest Bunch was, I think the head of content brought the name, suggested Honest Bunch. We bounced around different names, actually. But Honest Bunch kind of, was a fast seller. Short, simple, punchy. And we had to trademark that first. Then, yes. And that's how we got here.
In your honest opinion, do you feel, because from everything you've been saying,
Yes.
Nadu was a pivotal
Absolutely.
member of Glitch Africa's
Yes.
podcast, from Frankly Speaking to
the
the Honest Bunch. Do you, in your heart, feel you did Nadu well?
Yes. Yes.
Did you reach out to him? Did you try to create opportunities for reconciliation? Did you provide alternatives?
As a visionary, I try not to be emotional because there's a huge team who believe in the dream and follow my direction, follow wherever I see. So I try to look at things from different lenses, different point of view. Yes, there are reasons to not reach out or to just move on. But because of the vision for the brand, for the show itself, I wanted to fix things no matter what. We've built this for, amazing quartet, according to S7EPS1 material. So, I didn't think losing any member of the team was worth it. So yes, personally, I reached out. As a team, we reached out. But none of that, worked. And at some point, he referred me to his management. So the conversations were, you guys can, add context if I'm not saying everything. Yes, it didn't work. I tried to reach out, have conversations, say, what was the issue? Let's iron this out. Let's find ways to resolve it. But, that didn't see the light of day.
Husband material. First time I ever saw you in my life, it was with Nadu. You were like a team, 5 and 6. The next episode after Nadu left, I saw some comments as audience that I am. And the comments were like, this life, the show continue, see husband material. Do you feel in your heart, same question I asked Best, do you feel in your heart that you did enough? Did you reach out to Nadu? Did you try to amicably, get as a collective, achieve achieve some sort of result?
So I am somebody who is very particular about working together because I believe that we would go further if we pool resources. I mean, it's okay to want to do stuff on your own, but there are certain people who would add value, and that might even propel what you're doing. You might get to your destination as quickly as possible. I have worked with a couple of people in the entertainment space and outside the entertainment space, and I am very sure that people who know me personally can testify to the fact that I am somebody who I am willing to make things work. Let's try. Let's give it our best. But I am also somebody who believes that, everyone knows what they are doing. And whatever decision that is taken is one that might have been thought out, and that conclusion might have been reached even before, that you want to share a second opinion, have your say on that issue. So, like, Best mentioned, I try as much as I can to keep my relationship with people as personal as possible because I don't know what other people don't discuss. And I like to hear from people because I believe if I have a conversation with you, I can judge from maybe body movement, body language, the way you react to certain things. And over the years, I've been an advocate of us coming together to have conversations. In fact, the first major conversation that we had after all of this issue was as a result of my prompting. Let's come together. Let's talk. Make everybody talk their mind. It go take time, but we go talk. You go listen to what the person want talk, and the person go talk in mind. But the truth is, you cannot force your decision on someone. And if somebody says, I am comfortable doing this, and you say, I think if we do it another way, it might be different. And the person says, I'm comfortable doing what I want to do. I believe that there should be no issues at all. We can all move on. Have a great time. Have a great experience. No bad blood. No wahala. No fighting. That's what I believe. Because the truth is, there are certain points you get to, you might want to do things differently. By God's grace, because nobody they pray make things spoil for their hand, it will definitely work out for you. And as they work out for A, make it also work out for B. Make everybody there happy.
Husband material, if there's anything I'm aware of is even you leaving our former radio station was because of Nadu. Do you still work with him? Because I know that for about 5 years you guys did everything together. How has that impacted your off the Glitch Africa set work and your personal lives as friends? Because I knew you guys were intimate friends.
Close, intimate friends. That intimate, when they go come like say, now my guy, but that intimate, because of the way English they, maybe we don't got to say, so he's somebody I consider like an elder brother and I respect him. And to a considerable degree, I have, grown over the years in my career and in my personal life because of, his impact. And I am super grateful to God Almighty for that. For, our former place of work, aside from my close affinity to him and my loyalty to him and our connection to the podcast, that one to follow cause problem because, the employer at the time felt that we did not give him first right of refusal. We took an idea outside and, contributed to ensuring that that idea became something that,
Great,
something great. Say, if to say we get this kind of idea and we feel even support them, the thing for make sense for, for where in day. But me, I believe, say, anywhere where you find yourself, so long as, say, what you they do, not affect your job description. I was employed as an on-air personality and I had to do other stuff because they have multiple arms. So originally employed for TV, I was on radio. I did speak English for Nigeria Info. I did speak Pidgin English for Wazobia. And I felt it was because they saw value in what I was bringing. And now why the thing they? But when the pressure of, you and person, it was just like your employer was no longer comfortable with you being around. And so it got to the point where me, I be person will be say, I know the value when I they bring. So if I they bring value, you they pay me to do one thing and I they do like 5. When people they cut cap give me, why I can't they stress myself? And to a considerable degree and to the glory of God, we had grown to the point where we could do stuff outside. In fact, the name and brand don't solid pass say you they go radio, for example, between maybe 2 to 4, turn on microphone. When from 8 o'clock to 8 the next day, you feel they active based on your brand. So that was that. Now, we are friends. I mean, I know that some people have said it's important that you define friendship when you say friend, because you feel be person friend, may the person not be your friend. We are friends, we work closely together. We have collaborated for well over 10 years. He bring idea, I bring idea, we do and made it make sense. I have no issues whatsoever. I have no problems whatsoever. Every time I get the opportunity to provide support, based on say, okay, bring this idea. How do you think we can do this to be better? I am always available and I have always been available.
Husband material, I want to chip in something else. Do you think he would have been happy that you were still on this podcast even as he left?
We had a heart-to-heart conversation, and like I said, people are responsible for their decisions. Everybody know what they do, and as an adult, you might persuade, but you cannot force somebody to do what they do not want to do. Mm-hmm. For me, it was a personal decision, and the decision was based off the hard work and the effort that we had put into this. And like I said, I am willing to make things work. I am willing to see how we can make things better and correct, whatever mistakes that have been made. So everybody with their personal decision, I no fault anybody for any decision when they make. And I believe, say, my own decision in my personal interest, now the best decision when I take.
Isn't it as the youngest member?
Yes.
How did this transition affect you? And what is your perspective on the transition?
Okay. So, first of all, before I joined the podcast, I didn't know anybody. Any of them.
Personally.
Producer, host, crew members, nobody at all. So me joining, they had their relationships. I mean, Tom used to intern with...
I used to work with...
Okay,
what was her name?
Okay. She used to work with them on radio.
Elba.
Yes. So they had friendship.
Okay, because I hear Wazobia and I'm like, I'm meeting you for the first time. And I was there for 21 years.
Yeah. So they had friendship, and other material. They had... So I was the one person on my own that had to now be friends with everyone.
Integrated.
Try to, have a relationship with everybody. And when this happened, I reached out. I mean, we had video calls, myself, Tom, other material, and Nadu. Me and Tom, we even had... We discussed. Mm-hmm. I would be in my house. Tom would call me. I think we should call Nadu. Sometimes we'll call. Sometimes she calls herself. Maybe I'll be at work, And I used to reach out and stuff. But when decisions are made, they are made. And I cannot also deny the fact that Nadu was an integral part of this podcast. Mm-hmm. And most of the times that we were dragged, so to say, it was stuff that had to do with him. So if he was not here, most of the time our podcast wouldn't have gone viral because he makes inciting statements. He asks the hard questions. And, it will always be him saying, so what now happened? So you slept with the person.
Yes.
Those things make it to the internet.
And that he did the whole Nadu's podcast.
So those things make it, to the podcast.
So he brought value.
He did.
I mean, everybody has the value that they bring, but he's our elder brother. I mean, for you to say the generator did this, you will know that the person did work, So we reached out. I called. I used to call. In fact, at some point, I stopped calling because let's say they find another thing, I used to call. And then we had a meeting. And when Bess mentioned that we were going to have a meeting, I was happy. There will be hope. Maybe we can sort things out. We can talk about everything that has happened and then we can, move on. In fact, my best friend lost her father. She had a funeral. She buried her father on that day of that meeting. And from the burial, that's to show you how invested I was in the whole thing. Because, I mean, when I joined, it was so good. We were a team. It was good, So, and when I came, I was like, where's Nadu? Say he was not around, that he sent his management to us, that he didn't want to come. So,
yeah, I just want to quickly put, because it's like everyone is saying this particular thing. Nadu was a huge part of my reason being here, because how I met Nadu, it's so different, because the person that introduced Nadu to me, like, oh, this is my sister, get out. We contacted you first, actually, but like, moving on. Then Nadu, Then
What did I
Nadu,
say? Please remind me.
you kept on telling me, I will call you. Call me by this time. I'll call you. So I mean, I was working with a production house before, which was Sound City. Then I moved to Wazobia. So I started again, like trying to learn more things. So I was under Nadu in Wazobia. Then one day, Nadu and husband they said, "Don't come." And I followed them. Then they started discussing, want to start a podcast. Then started talking. So me, from my own perspective, way before actually. So I want to clear the part of people saying Nadu's podcast. I thought that, we are starting. I didn't know we're in collaboration until I came in and I saw that, okay. Some things were explained to me and I saw that, okay, it is not like Nadu's podcast. It's just, Nadu is the main, not like main, like it's the face that everybody, most popular, the face that everybody knows. Like it's just, we'll miss him. Let me just put that, because I was sad when the whole meeting didn't go.
Now, wow. So as you call me 2 times, I know you follow Nadu, follow.
I mean, we keep.
Husband material, is this how it happened?
Well, I myself, I've been no Tom personally, but I just say, okay, Tom, they work closely with Nadu. They learn the ropes. And from my conversation with her, I hear say she been done the work for media outfits before. And the way she take carry herself and the way she take deliver, it shows say she get that experience. So anybody will be saying a part of our family in our family. From that day, she become my respected younger sister. I draw and follow body. So I would like to say that, over the years, we have experimented with so many ideas. And to the glory of God, we don't try some things where we say, it not work, we go back, do them again. The thing makes sense. And, we had this conversation about doing something differently because we don't do skits for a long time. And the age when we don't reach, a very popular skit that we had was the Oga Landlord and Husband Material, series, where I played the role of a randy tenant that was always bringing women into the compound and all. So we had this conversation about, we don't do this thing for a particular period of time, even though there were other ideas. We don't do this thing for a particular period of time. I don't even reach the age where we say, this kind of thing, not be waiting. When I've been there very skinny, I feel they bring some kind of girls come. Now when I don't even come, my neck don't come big, to stick on the carry girl, the idea not just gel. So as people who have spent quite the number of years in the industry, let us do things differently that would even impact people. As people who have a powerful voice, let us use our voice. So now the whole idea of, okay, we feel do things when they're different from skits. Now, who can we work with? Like, Best mentioned, we all worked together.
Why didn't you give your former radio station the right of first refusal?
You just said it's radio station. Yes, just as a radio. And I told you that, for example, I was employed to work on TV.
Right.
Now, they can't draft me, come radio, say, this guy, you good, can't do this one for radio. So, I not get, honesty.
Or did you feel like because they were paying you
No.
for TV
They were paying
and radio?
for
Never.
5
So
work.
if you do podcast with them, they won't pay you for
it's not
podcast.
Ask people who worked with me closely there. I be one of, I cannot say, me be the only person, but I follow for the people who be say, you feel call me 5 minutes, say one person no day, make I they come, I go. And I go do them well. Because he dey body.
Let me give you my experience of HM. We used to attend a meeting every Thursday on Nigeria Info. You remember? HM will be on the road because he's on his way to go and cover something. And I'm like, this radio work way me I dey do from house. You dey go station, from station, you go still go road.
It was community reports.
He was dedicated to it. And
Thank you.
It was part of the reason why they had issues with me, because they're like, look, this guy is coming and you don't want to leave your house. Who does radio? Like, I'm like, well, my ratings are number 1. So at the end
Why
of the
change
day, why change it? But I'm just breaking that up to refer to your dedication on the job and work ethics.
Thank you. I'm very grateful. It's God.
It's
not my problem.
And I also want to hear your
side of the story,
especially from the conception of the show to where it was before you guys had to take a break. So please just draw us back. And
so like I said, we had conversations about doing things differently because we get powerful voice. We feel begin the educate, inform, persuade, and also engage with people, given our years of experience. And so me I be person when we say, I believe that there is no idea that is useless. If it not work, but you don't know how them go take receive them, because your audience will decide to they say na Makosa they want. Then the very next moment na Galala they want. So when we had this conversation, who be the person who go fit do this kind of thing with? Na person when be say we know. And so we connected with, Best. Best na person when na for production, me I know him. Then them they make jingles and all these things, So when we had that conversation, my own I say make we come out, make we do what we want to do. Make we, give the very best. And so when we were supposed to shoot, I remember vividly that, because I am also very big on politics, and we were very particular about, something that would capture the attention of young people and get as many Nigerians as possible to participate, in the conversation. And the whole conversation about getting Kiki and all. But when we no confit, get Kiki because she had relocated from the country, we opted for pop culture. Do something that, people would discuss. If you go back to our early episodes, even though we don't evolve, don't grow, then it was just basically maybe something went trend on Twitter.
Yes.
We go just come discuss them. One story when we see, we'll just come discuss them and people go share their personal opinion. And I would also like to say that even though we work as a collective, people have personal relationship, and you might not, to a considerable degree, know how closely, that personal relationship is. I knew Tonye also from where we used to work, but I no go say me and Tonye close where we. If we see with the greet, you understand? Now, person will be say I dey familiar with because I dey see him, I know him. And so when we had the conversation, my owner say, make we walk. Make we do what we want to do. And because we all knew each other and had worked closely, myself, me and Nadu, a person will be say, if he tell me say, mo waka like this, would they go like this? Because I know say he would always look out for my own interest. And I don't get any issues whatsoever. We would go all out. And so from the first episode, when it happened like play, because I can still recall that we were here waiting and we were just having conversations. Everybody just they talk. Naomi stand by the side as they make the contribution. This talk Nene. You also worked with her.
She worked with me.
Yeah.
I brought her to
yes.
Cool FM.
Yes. This talk they enter. Make we, and that was how we had the team work together. Tom came in on that day too. We recorded, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. It just can't be like say, the kind of reaction when would they find? Say, make people watch this thing, not be as it be. The episode that actually triggered that attention was the episode that featured DJ Adala Pinky, where we had a conversation about dating younger people or people who are your peers and older people. She said she would prefer to date somebody who is older than her because these people consider your welfare and older people will give you transport or thanks for coming when you come. That was the episode that they discussed it on national TV and on radio. And now their problem can't even first start because your employer, be like that episode in can see. When can look say, una don't big now, Abi. Una won't come they do other things differently, Abi. But we thank God for how far we have come. And we thank God for where we are. For me, I have no regrets. I believe that when things happen, a lesson. And we take it as it is. And hopefully we can learn from it, become better persons, and keep doing great.
Let me just add just one last, So for what we do here, we develop content ideas, finance it, market it, distribute it. So it's a 360 degree, media organization. Like I mentioned earlier on, there's a large team behind what we do. So it's not a one-man, organization. It's very large and it's a serious business for us. This is not the only show under the network. We have shows in Ghana, in Kenya, and other markets. So it's an organization. Yes.
I want to talk about the bullying and trolling. And if there's anybody that is in the right space to talk about bullying and trolling, I think it has to be me.
Of course.
Because I took on something that they kill people for, religion. It's something you.
How did you even? Who gave you that mindset?
You know.
I say when I see you, I'll ask
you. know, I don't want to be controversial, but maybe I'll be a bit controversial.
Welcome to the honest bunch.
After my first marriage, they relegated. I used to introduce my pastor. I used to be church boy. You understand? I used to introduce my pastor. Right when I was there, I used to notice that things were not okay. But I was subsumed. I was in the system. So I just felt that he's a man of God. He knows better. This thing doesn't sound right. This is not what the Bible said. I didn't really know the Bible that well then. I knew more than the average person. So there were things that they would say that would raise questions. But I was like, nah, he knows better. Then, when I had my divorce, my pastor sat my ex down, and after 2 hours of talking, they said, you guys should get back together. I said, I'm not getting back to any together. I'm done. And the guy, he wasn't happy about it, but I made myself clear. I said, I'm done. I'm not going back. And then when we left, they called me on a Monday, said, you are introducing pastor on Thursday at some event, and I got ready, ordered costume, and then on Wednesday they called me, said, well, Baba say because of this your controversy with the everywhere, may you first rest small. And I'm like, why? John chapter 4, the woman at the well who had 5 husbands and was living with the 6th husband, or with the 6th man that was not even her husband. Christ did not stop her from spreading the message. Now, only one I don't do now. Person we don't do 5, still there with number 6. They know reject them. Why are you rejecting me? So I felt like it was a bit of rejection. Then I sat down with my pastor after that and said, when I come to church, I should go and sit at the back. Because of the person where I kill, or they catch me with drug. Marriage no work. Which one is sit at the back? You understand? So I was like, this didn't sound like the Bible I knew. So at that time, because of my divorce, they labeled me violent. When you and woman won't fight and the marriage won't end, all sorts of stories go come out. So a lot of brands dropped me. No. So I had my biggest brands I lost. There was also Nigerian recession. So the only work I had then was my Cool FM work. I now turned to civil servant. I would go to work and come back home because that was the only thing I was doing. And that afforded me the opportunity I wasn't going to church because I wasn't going to go to church and sit at the back and everybody be looking at me and be pitying me. So I stopped going to church for a period around then, or moved to another church, and afforded myself more time to study scripture. And the more I studied scripture, the more I went deeper. And the more I started studying in original languages, Hebrew, Aramaic, Greek, and Latin. When you study in Greek and Latin, you now know that there's different Greek. There's Koine Greek. Then you now start studying the manuscripts. You now know that there's textus receptus, there's critical text, there's majority text, and they're all Greek. And they have their little differences. Then you now start studying the Latin, the work of Jerome. Then you start going back again to the English and seeing the mistakes in translation. Then when you compare the critical text to the textus receptus, you now start seeing. So by the time you do the work, you can't do that work for 1 year and any Nigerian pastor will make sense to you. It is impossible. Because you're going to start seeing things that you're going to start seeing the translational errors. Like one of the most popular ones, the word Lucifer. It was never used to reference any devil in scripture. It was actually used to reference Christ. You can't know it until you read the Latin. The word Lucifer was used 4 times in the Latin Bible. Twice in the book of Job, once talking about prayer, once talking about God's power. Once in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12, talking about the king of Babylon. And once in 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19, talking about Christ. So how did he become the devil? Because King James translated from the Textus Receptus. That is what they believe to be the received text, the work of, was this guy that first worked, I was arguing with my son about it, and edited by Stephanus. So, but the word Lucifer is a Latin word, And the only place in the King James, the only Bible that carries the word Lucifer, by the way. And the only place that he carried it is one of the 4 places that it was in the Vulgate. That's the Latin Bible. And it was used to talk about the king of Babylon, how you have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. And that wasn't the devil. And then in the Latin Bible, it was used to mention Christ in 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 9. So when you see this, you bring it to any scholar, it will confuse them. Because they read a lot of Bible in English. But the Bible was not written in English. It was written in Greek, then translated to Latin. And then they now did the English translation only 400 years ago with a lot of confusion. So when I saw that, I started coming for pastors. I'm like, no, they'll preach a sermon and I'm seeing all the holes in it. So I come for them. I'm like, initially I was coming gently because then instead of them replying me and saying, why don't we look at it like this? They were like, shut up, he's a devil. He's an antichrist. Then I came up with the tithe thesis. I'm like, you people should show me where Christ, the head of the church, collected tithe. Let's not argue it. Just one verse. Peter, go and pay your tithe. Or where he handed it over to Peter and said, Peter, collect tithe from the people. Or more. The whole Nigerian Jews came after me. Just mention a Jew. He came, and it wasn't let's have a conversation with this guy. It was like, even a madman knows better. Those kind of, so I don't look at them as, these people don't even know this thing. I just used to look at them and respect them before. So, because they came at me on a petty level. So, initially, I thought I was going to die, that these are men of God that have power, that once you talk and they talk, once you dare face them, you will sleep and not wake up. And I slept and woke up every day for 6 months. That's when, the more that they talk something and walk, the more your fear you go begin to bold. But guess what? I didn't face any trouble from the men of God, from the spirituality. Nothing happened to me. It was physical. The trolls. You dare talk about my daddy in the Lord. I was at a car event one day. Somebody called me, said, where you are now? They are racing cars, Abi. They are coming for you. I had to leave my car and enter taxi and run. They did not, I was expecting them to pray. I was expecting them to see fire come from heaven. Nothing. The fire came from the trolls. So, if there's anybody who has experienced, you don't have what is it they say, you be a show, they say you is. These people say that they can't kill you. I had death threats that were transferred to my family members.
Wow.
But you see, that was 10 years ago. And the work I did is why you have people standing up today to the church and demanding accountability, demanding the truth. This thing you are saying, where is it in the Bible? Before, if a Daddy Gio typed, let's say Daddy Gio came here and dropped his phone and somebody stole it and hacked his Twitter and typed, eat shit.
Everybody will start eating shit.
Under the comment section will be, I've eaten part 1. When do we stop? Some people say, amen, my daddy has spoken. Now, people can question it. So I understand the transition, but I'm talking about it like this. It wasn't an easy time. There were times when I couldn't go to certain places. There were times when I was be called for a job. I'll give you an example. I was called to MC an event. That time I used to charge 1 million. So they don't pay me 800,000. And that was the first event I had in like 6 months. Why are nobody using me? Because of this same, he insulted my pastor. So 4 days before the event, they called me and said, people are saying they are not coming to the event if you are emceeing it.
Wow.
Me, my own worry then was, I don't chop the
the money.
I no go refund this money. They said, no, don't worry. That's what we've paid you already. But don't bother showing. I said, okay, can I just come for the event? I said, no. Don't. Just. Because I felt that if I don't go for the event, they can take me to court tomorrow and say,
at least show up.
At least let me just show up. They say, don't bother showing up. Keep the money. Don't worry. So I now send them a text. I'm like, are you sure I should keep the money? They say, yeah. So at least I have some form of evidence against them. And when I saw the trolling, I was like, you guys not going to understand now. This thing is small trolling because they don't troll me on everything. But you people that were new to it, that did not you did not subscribe for trolling.
Mm-hmm.
How did you handle it? I will first start with Best, who is a gentleman who cannot raise his voice,
To the core.
who is quiet, who how?
No, I think I would say because I'm not them, so I won't say it's the same level. You know, but they don't know me. I'm a behind the scene guy. That's what I'm called for. So I've never dreamt of, since I wanted to be in front of the camera. So see them drag the show hosts, at the degree, it was pretty heartbreaking. People say that, the show is controversial, but it's different. This time around, it wasn't because of what was said or because it was
The
just
integrity of the show.
Thank you. And that is everything. When people trust you and that integrity that you've built over the years, invested in, people doubt it. And people say you are dishonest, you are a fraud. That is hurtful. So I don't know how. I think I want to hear how they survived it because I wasn't on the set. So it's not a direct attack at me as a person.
I think we should start with the ladies.
Yes.
I would love to go first. Because everyone do know that I'm more of a listener, right? I'm mostly like, I don't like talking over people. I would love to listen to what you have to say and I'll pick my questions from there, right? So the parts where I talk, they will come and drag. Oh, she's talking. She doesn't know what she's saying. She doesn't. Okay, fine. You don't want me to talk? Cool. Let me listen. Now I'm listening. See how she's just sitting there looking like you can never please people.
No, you can't.
You can never please people. And the things that are dragging you for, sometimes everybody can't be on the same side. You have to play devil advocate sometimes, or you might want to know the reason why this person is thinking the way the person is thinking, right? And all of a sudden, people will just turn it to you that you are definitely what you are asking. Maybe you're trying to ask that, maybe this person is not this way because this person came from such a background. Oh, you're looking for excuse for this person for being silly, for this person. It's just so tiring, but at the same time, it's our job. So we just have to,
At any point, did you feel like quitting? That, you know what, I'm done. I can't handle this. How did your parents... You see, the worst part is not you. It's your parents.
Family members.
When they call you
Yes.
more than anything else, parents, because you are disgracing them. So how did they encourage us? My daughter?
My mom is someone that is actually, she watches the show a lot. She watched it. She's always mostly like, oh, please, why don't say this? And my mommy is the show. The truth has to be heard. Like, whether we like it or not, like, this is my job. I'm definitely going to do it. I mean, they understand. They get it. They encourage. My mom encourages me. She even tell me sometimes, tell Zini, tell this, like, she encourages me. So
I want to add that also because you know that these things are not true. There's comfort in that don't worry. The truth is the truth.
It's the truth.
No matter how you paint lie, over time the truth, will set you free. As the Bible said, I'd like to hear all the materials in his perspective.
So even Jesus, our Lord and personal Savior, that we look up to, there are people that did not even like him. That alone is my comfort. That you are not jollof rice. Even Nigerian jollof rice, people don't even like. Some people prefer Ghana jollof.
Senegalese.
Some even want firewood jollof rice.
Smoky now. Go on.
So when I first joined the podcast, first of all, I was born in Abia State.
And you went to school in Aba.
Serious Aba girl.
Hey!
I now went to Federal Government Girls College, Umuahia.
Aba.
The emphasis on
is in Umuahia now, close to Abakwa. After that, I now went to Abia State University in Abia. The only thing that brought me out of my comfort zone. In fact, as a matter of fact, my dad didn't even like the fact that I came for youth service in Lagos. They wanted me to also serve Enugu, Port Harcourt. So, all my life, I've never been in that kind of
situation.
Holding my nose to talk. No. That's not how we roll in Aba. We open our mouth and we talk, So, coming on the show, and I've also been in the media. I'm an actor and everything. And the role that I even used to play that made me actually popular before the podcast is a role of an Igbo girl. So I've always like had this personality of, who I am. So joining the podcast, and people are saying, that local girl, that Igbo girl. Sometimes, if my friends show me that thing on the comment section, I'll be like, am I supposed to
pretend
be anybody else? Is this not me? Are people not supposed to accept me for who I am? It's still the same person, the same people that are going to say, oh, she's forming when I have an accent. Okay, imagine I come this season now and I'm speaking.
Yo, man.
They'll say, oh, this girl is forming. So, what is the problem with human beings? It used to give me concern, at first. Because it's not me. I'm So that, and the other aspect of the trolling again was because of the way I carry myself. It's also who I am. Everybody says I behave like a grandmother. What if I tell you my age? You will not believe it too. I'm a young person. But the way I speak...
I'm tempted to say, tell us this your age.
The way that I speak, my gesticulation. You even said, I don't know your status. I don't know if you're married.
Yeah.
I embody that personality of a Nigerian woman, because my grandparents and my parents influenced me in that way. Even up to the songs that I listen to. It's Lucky Dube. It's Bob Marley. It's Eric Donaldson. It's the Celine Dion.
Talk about it.
I'm a classic girl.
Period.
And that doesn't have anything to do with how old I am. So sometimes on the comment section, I see things like, this old woman. You are waiting for rich boy to marry. That's why you're not married. Gift. Hey, go to the comment section and maybe you used to leave it. Those are the truths. And people that know me see it and they screenshot it. At some point, I'm like, don't send me this.
Some of the people sending it are not even the good people.
They are not now. Because some episodes that go viral and they maybe are dragging any of us, they'll now send you better. Well, don't send it to me. If you see that they're bashing me, if you feel that you love me, go there and be replying them.
Thank you.
Or maybe don't waste your saliva. Don't send it to me. I don't want to see it. You are causing me more
harm.
And
if you must send it with your reply. Let me see that you address it.
Do you get? So I cannot deny the fact that I feel like when I joined the podcast, I've never been dragged in my life. Like generator dragging. When I joined and they dragged me.
That pepper grinding machine. Don't see whether they dragged that one.
I had to call my friend, Rosemary. She's in the UK and I had to call her. She came to my house. I said, Rosemary, I'm palpitating. She said, calm down. He said, you have not even started. It's like you don't want to be great, this girl. They will drag you. In fact, do more things. If they drag you this week, see another one next week. I want to be seeing them dragging you every, But now, it's just so cool because this whole thing that we've been through as a podcast, they will come to our comment section and that time, Opwe was trending. They will come to our country. Opwe. They don't pipe this one. They don't.
Please, what does it mean to pipe somebody?
To sleep with the people now, the person.
Oh wow, you know me, I'm a man of God. So.
He go talk. And sometimes Tom will screenshot some and send to me. I'll screenshot some.
We laugh
even used to screenshot to gifts.
We laugh at it now.
And that's how we were able to pull through it, knowing that, this is greatness here. And if they are dragging you in Nigeria, my own is let them drag me in the UK. Let them drag me. If you're dragging me in the UK and you're dragging me in any other place, that means I'm making impact. You're listening to me. Because if you're not listening to me, then...
Preach, mama.
It's rubbish. So that's the coping. The thing is that, if they're listening to you and they have an opinion about what you're saying, that means you're saying something.
You're saying something.
Yeah.
Husband material.
For me, I love to focus on the positives.
Positives.
I follow for people when we say, now we follow for the first set, then we get social media accounts. From the days of Facebook. I used to do stuff with him, oh my God. So, what I like to do is, people who know me personally know the kind of person I am. So most times when I see certain things that are negative, to a considerable degree, I would not want to say I have been lucky. But if we go do maybe scale of preference, maybe na me be the least person when they receive attack.
Yeah, no, even
Barely there.
Yeah, jollof fries, they love you.
They love us
Most times, maybe because then go one drag somebody else. They leave me. Sometimes one person go mention one or two, but to a considerable degree, I never. But during that incident, everybody collect. I not really, yes, I not really to collect like that, But over the years, I have been.
So collect piping, no.
It's me at home.
The person will be say I focus on the positive because, for example, if you curate content and share, and there are 30 comments, and 25 are saying, "Oh, bro, we love what you are doing. We love." Then 5 person just come talk nonsense. I am not going to expend my energy on 5 people when 25 others acknowledge my work and are happy about what I do. But when I can't even try do that time now, say, it just be like say I set trap. If I see comments when they're negative, I go just block straight. Whether the person they follow me or I they follow the person or not, I go just block so that before the team fit come maybe turn round, come my side. That person no go even know side they exist or he no go see me. So I focus on the positive. And I am somebody who is very particular about people who enjoy what we do genuinely because they want to learn from it. Now, those ones, they concern me. If those ones begin to complain, that time I go look, say, what are we doing wrong? How can we improve so that these people who spend 2 hours of their time and their data really enjoy what we are doing?
And something else that I wanted to say about family that Tom also said about her mom. And Husband Material also said the people that care for you, people that know you, is their opinion that you might even say. Some episodes, like the Durex episode, I prayed to God that my mom didn't watch it. But guess what? My mom watched it. And she called me. She said, wow, that was a fire episode. I said, thank you. She said, but you know that this social media, what they are saying, people that didn't watch it, what they are saying is not what really happened. Because I watched the episode, I don't even talk any bad thing. I was even in defense of people that I said, don't even use it because it's not good. But me, because I say it's good, now that one. So my mom and my family members are like, you go. Don't worry.
That's all you need.
And that's all everybody needs.
Support system.
That's all everybody
Why you they worry
needs.
about person when no even know you?
You see,
I just they look all of them now.
Because now you be...
That was when we started.
No. Now me be antichrist. So, husband material say 25 people, we say, we
Positive
talk.
things.
Then 5 people say, me. 25 people will talk. The whole 25, they shake me for me. Then they don't carry and go another blog. At least I feel control the one within my page. So, I want you people to know now my small advice, so they will drag you and drag you and drag you. And guess what? What sweets me at the end of the day is that you have your truth. I'll tell you a story.
Right.
There's one auntie that used to preach like plenty money, used to call dollar. There was one girl that used to follow her. They will go to like Ekiti, Akure, all those sides. They will be doing night vigil, say make daddy freeze buy. I'm not joking, no. Until one day, the girl named Marigold, she's come to my life before. Until one day, the pastor of the Lagos church, where they hold, I'm not joking, no, they used to hold like once a month night vigil, and sometimes the topic would be this daddy freeze, will be Antichrist, where devil send, make it scatter Nigeria, make it buy. That's so the pastor chopped this girl 20 million naira.
Lol.
The girl no know where to run to. She run come meet me.
Same daddy phrase.
Now who come up, told her to go to EFCC first. She went to EFCC sorted, they carried the pastor. Anointing is different from anointing. They carried the anointing. By the time they were done, the girl came to give her testimony on my. You will all give testimony. All these people are laughing at you.
Amen.
You know that
Testimony.
Amen.
I mean, inshallah.
That's the same one right there.
So that the freeze.
Surround us.
We know say you don't be viewer, you don't look, you don't ask question.
Now.
No can also ask you now.
Hey!
Dun.
Because
Shakam, Abi, I don't learn that one from
Shakam.
Shakam, I don't learn that one from you now today.
so why you can't decide say okay Honest Bunch podcast now. You go come be part of Honest Bunch podcast at the time when everybody they run.
Naomi.
Aww.
Behind my back and in front of my back, Naomi. When Best first sent me a message, he said he wanted me to come and be a guest. I said, no, this podcast will get problem. Everybody they drag. I say, God forbid. But then he now, like 2 weeks later, now sent me a message. I'm like, are you interested in being a host? I'm like, Now, why did I like the idea? Because I used to do a lot of spin-offs of the you people's content.
Yeah.
And it was very sweet. Because before I don't drop the episode
Why?
on
We never they say
me, I don't chop money on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that Monday now, this part 2 of this coming. Once the thing now drops, I now have another. So I did it a couple of times because I love the conversations, and I'm like, there are some people you people cannot bring because I do Instagram interviews. People like Eddie Remedy, for instance, that is in the UK. People that sometimes, so I have those conversations, and I felt that maybe you can synchronize everything. I don't want it to affect my Daddy Freeze brand that is already going on. I don't want it to affect my church, but I also want it to I also want to have an impact on. I haven't done entertainment for you. I haven't done media proper for since 2022 when I left the radio. I'm like, okay, once a week, let's come, let's talk. I played around with the idea. I ran it through all of my friends. I didn't want to take the decision. I was like, what do you think? My wife was, shout out to Taste Buds. She was like, this is a good idea. Go.
Nice.
I called Pastor Toby.
PT.
I say, Agba, you get one name where they call no call here because na problem name. I call him the name. I say, what do you think? He is the most diplomatic person in this life. He will tell you no without telling you no and tell you. But this one, he just went on. He said, I like this. So me that was like this, I'm like, okay, let me send Best a message back. And said, okay, let's sit down and have a meeting. I'd known him from afar, not like the way I know you, not like the way I know Nadu. You understand? I'd known him from far away. I think I've only sat down with him. There was one time we had some meeting at some. That was the only. So I went there. I said, okay, I invited him to one lounge where one of my friends' lounges in Lekki, Neville. So we sat down, and after listening to him for 10 minutes, my wife was like, how old is this guy again? Say, this guy now.
Wisdom choke.
Nah. All those Ferrari where they carry big engine.
No.
Do you understand? The guy just did dish out ideas. As in, it got to a point where I can't begin to panic. Say, So I tapped into that. I was like, but my biggest question is, I don't want, Nadu is my friend. Nadu is my guy.
Right.
You understand? Nadu has never done me bad before. Even when I used to steal you people's content, I wasn't stealing it. I was just...
Quote unquote.
You understand?
Because you were not the only one actually even talking about stuff.
Nadu will call me and laugh about it. I'm sure, of course, when people gather and do your meetings, you'll be like, that's wicked Daddy Freeze. But Nadu will call me, do you understand? And we'll laugh about it. So my first question to Best was, what is Nadu going to say? I'm interested. I don't want to lose a friendship. You understand? And Best was like, he's here, I'm quoting him. He said, they offered Nadu several times to come. That it was Nadu that did not want to come. So I was like, okay. I went back to my coven, my committee of witches that surround me. I said, okay, now the matter we did. He said, yeah. If Nadu is not coming back, just make sure you call Nadu.
Did you call him?
I called him in Abuja at Obi Kubana's birthday because I saw him from afar. So I was like, If I ever run into him, it would be very bad that I've not called him. So I called him and we gisted. Nadu, like I said, is my guy. We gisted. You understand? And I said, bro, if you have any intentions of going back, he said, no, that's is okay and everything. And I also felt that if he was a fundamental part of bringing this together, sometimes in life, you move on. When I was on the radio and I left, the people that I was there with did not live with me. I wished them well, and they did well. You understand? The problem is when your whole life is tied to something. And I see that he has bigger things and better things that he's also doing on the outside. And since he gave me his word that, look, he's not interested anymore, or maybe I'm assuming that, let me be politically correct, but at least I can hold Best hostage here. Best said, Nadu said, in more ways than one, that he wasn't coming back. And I believe that's an opportunity for me to, let me come and play around a bit. Let's see where this is going before I get too old to do all this work.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And talking about, playing around a bit, I understand the context, but on the Honest Bunch podcast, we don't play. We focus on impactful conversations that help people grow. And I've spoken to a couple of people who have said, I have been a fan from season 1. I am dedicated to the podcast. We're grateful for your support. And if you follow the Honest Bunch podcast, forget anything when anybody go say. I'd always talk, say, if you be adult and you're responsible for your actions, take time to do your own study. You go find out. If you follow the Honest Bunch podcast and you say, the things where they discuss here with our guests, them, when they add value, the thing never add value to you. Maybe they watch them from a wrong place or I hate watch. But if you watch the Honest Bunch podcast, I am very certain that it has added tremendous value to you. And that is what we are particular about. And we want to assure you that in season 7, conversations that would help build you, improve you, educate you, inform you, persuade you would be at the core of everything we do.
Right.
And we will do well to engage with you.
Yes.
We're going to be coming to various communities. We're going to be meeting you in person. You're going to see us more one-on-one. We're going to connect. And season 7 would even be greater than, God willing, all the things that we have done in previous seasons.
And we're not leaving any conversations, because for every conversation that we've had on this podcast, there's an audience for it. So we're still going to keep talking about everything and anything.
So, Daddy Freeze.
Especially the piping.
Daddy Freeze, thank you so much for
Thank
very
you.
thank you.
Daddy Freeze is not part of us. You should be thanking
As
too.
an audience first.
No, I came out. Today I'm audience.
Yeah, today we're out
Thank
there
you
with
for listening.
No. Let me break this down to you guys.
All right.
The owner, the presenters, today, they say the audience is always right. I'm always right.
Good night, guys.